Hi, I'm Alan Wendt, and we're at Dealer Week for MRAA in Tampa. Tracy Williams is with me right now. She's the Senior Vice President of Huntington Distribution Finance. Big mouthful, right?
It's a lot to take in.
You know, I had a question for you before we started recording here, and I found it fascinating because you do business in Canada.
Correct.
As well as the United States and a couple of other countries. How is the finance game different in Canada than it is in the United States? Because we do have quite a few Canadian dealers also that are members of MRAA. I'm sure that might be some fascinating insight, particularly when it comes to buyers and their trends and attitudes.
I think what we've seen, and again, I have some history back in my former experience in the retail finance segment. I think what we saw years ago was that the Canadian consumer was much more conservative, more worried about a loan, monthly payment. But what we've seen that in comparison to our US counterparts is that the Canadian consumer, the pendulum has swung a little bit. If anything, I would like to say they've probably taken on a little bit more debt than our American counterparts have. And we've seen that just sort of in the recent statistics that the Canadian government and just, you know, our banks have put out there as far as what the household debt ratio is in Canada versus the United States. So they're a little bit more, I would say they're taking on more debt than they did before.
Interest rate wise, are they pretty even between the US and Canada?
Yes, I mean certainly we've seen multiple rate hikes in Canada, very much the same as in the United States. You know, it looks like they're going to pause now, and we're sort of hearing very similar things in Canada, similar to the US, in that we're looking for potentially rates to come down second quarter of 2024. So I know the Feds are kind of talking about March. We've heard Canadian Bank of Canada talking about potentially May, but I think that will certainly give everybody, perhaps, hopefully, you know, a good spring in their step once we start boat show season in January, and hopefully those buyers come out knowing that, you know, there is help on the horizon.
For a dealer looking to have a relationship with your firm, what's going to make you different, your unique qualifier here, than say some of the very large players in the world of finance?
I think we've kind of taken it back to almost a grassroots approach, a very hands-on approach. I mean, we want to sort of be considered like your neighbor or your friend. We're small but mighty, so I would say we're nimble. We think outside of the box. It's not a one-size-fits-all for our customers, so we're always, you know, we've got all of the experts that I feel that we can collaborate and try to come up with solutions that are maybe not mainstream and try to help our customers be successful in their business.
Is there a model that comes to mind when you look at a dealership? This dealer has a 1 or 2 person operation, we're a good fit, versus a model of a dealership that has 30 locations, if you will?
No, I don't. I mean, to us, it doesn't matter if you're small or if you're large. I mean, you know, we don't, for us, I guess size doesn't matter, if I can say it in that way. Everybody, for us, we sort of treat as a friend and a partner. I mean, again, you know, we try to help educate as much as we can as well. I mean, certainly helping dealers understand the benefits of, you know, having accurate financial statements, or perhaps understanding how to sort their inventory by units that are going to be interest-bearing first, and maybe they should focus their attention on selling those units first. So we take a hands-on approach, whether it's our sales team, our relationship analysts, you know, just to make sure that we are educating and helping them in their day-to-day business.
So for a dealer during these slower months during the winter, it's a good time to be able to investigate how they're doing business on the financial side. And do you physically come in and start working with them, or in this day and age do we do it online? How does that work?
Well, we have people that are out in the field visiting face-to-face, and actually I worked with the MRAA to put out a recent sort of blog, if you will, on tips to improving your financial statements and just some things that they can look to achieve for 2024 to help get them going, you know, with a good start. I mean, again, you know, we're here for support. We don't hold classes per se or things like that, but we're always a phone call or a visit away if they need us. So I think we take a really hands-on approach.
As you look towards the year ahead, do you see something happening in the industry that is going to help a dealer along if they take certain steps right now?
I think right now it's just about patience. I think it's about controlling their inventory. I mean, certainly in talking to dealers, I can appreciate that there's some reservations out there. I mean, we've gone from this craziness in the pandemic, nothing like we've ever seen, to now, who would have thought that we would be hearing there's too much inventory in the field. So I think, they're being careful with their orders. But I also think that, most of us who have been in this business for a long, long time know that this is not the 08-09 crisis. I think, it's not going to be easy per se as we move into 2024, but I think just patience, playing it smart with controlling your inventory, people that I'm talking to have a positive attitude, and I think we will get through this.
Tracy Williams, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for your time.
Make sure to check out our YouTube channel for the full Dealer Week experience.